Tonight's special guest is Diane Brown. Diane is the author of 6 books, and for her efforts has now been honoured with the New Zealand Order of Merit. Just after receiving her medal and before she returned home to Dunedin, Diane dropped into The Beat Goes On to tell us all about it. We welcome Diane Brown as our special guest on The Beat Goes On. Welcome to The Beat Goes On, Diane Brown.
Thank you.
All the way from Dunedin.
I am, but I'm an Aucklander by birth.
Oh, now you talked about the word birth there. Which, what year was this? As a baby boomer, what year were you born, Diane?
51.
1951. Gosh, they celebrated your birth by having a big strike.
Yes, right in the middle of when I was born. April.
What a great generation, the baby boomers. And you're up here in Auckland, and you've come on to The Beat Goes On because you're in Auckland. You have had a wonderful medal given to you by the Governor-General.
I have.
It's the Queen as well. It goes right to the top, doesn't it?
Yes, I have a certificate signed by the Queen, which I'll have to frame.
What was the medal that you were given?
It's a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit.
And you were standing in a line. Governor-General came along and he said, "Hello, Diane," and
yes,
he gave you that medal.
It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. And I saw when we sang God Defend New Zealand, Why Athletes Cry at the Olympics.
Yeah. You were really moved by the whole
I
occasion.
was moved by I was surprisingly moved. It was, and the Governor-General was incredibly gracious and friendly, and it was just a lovely occasion.
Why did the Governor-General give you this New Zealand Order of Merit? Let's look at that very closely.
I didn't ask for it.
You
I was
didn't
very astounded to get it and almost embarrassed. Really, somebody nominated me. It's for services to writing and education, and partly for a lot of work, volunteer work that I've done with the Society of Authors, which is like the Writers' Union, really. Both in Auckland, I was chair of the Auckland branch for a long time. And then I moved to Dunedin, became chair of that branch, and then I was on the National Council and all kinds of different things. So it was for that, and also I've spent 20 years teaching creative writing as well, so partly for that.
Now, you went to live in Dunedin. Now, many baby boomers, you know, they're living in Auckland and they sort of dream of selling their home in Auckland and moving to the South Island, and you picked Dunedin.
I did.
Why Dunedin, and what's the experience like going to Dunedin, going south?
I went to Dunedin primarily because of my relationship that I was having with another writer, Philip Temple, in Dunedin, and so we're having this long distance relationship. And he said, "I'm not coming to Auckland," and so I had to go to Dunedin. I gave in. But also, one of the prime reasons for me going down there was because it's so much cheaper to live in Dunedin than Auckland. And
you really notice a difference. It's so much cheaper.
Huge difference. Wow. And so, yes, we could afford to buy a house with a study each and a library and things that a writer could never aspire to in Auckland, unless you were Jeffrey Archer, which I am not. But in fact, I could actually read you a very short poem about this moving to Dunedin, because it's appropriate to just what we're talking about now. And this is when I was down there for a weekend, and obviously the man in this poem, the speaker in this poem, is my now husband. It's called A Proposal of Sorts. The light is different here, lower and sharper, he explains, an estate agent for the moment, pointing out the view from his end of the country as he leans against my back. Look at the shadows, the way the land lies, like a woman, like you, this morning after love. Couldn't you take this every day?
Isn't that great? Whoa!
And I decided I could take it. The light, the man.
So, now there's just one little example, but of course you've done 6 books, haven't you?
Yes,
Wonderful
I have.
Books. Yes. And if we wanted to know about these books, we go to www.dianebrown.co.nz.
Yep.
Wow. We are told that the whole purpose of our journey on this earth is to be creative.
Yes.
Because what is the payoff for being creative?
I think it makes life worth living. And there's a saying from the Gnostic Gospels, actually, and it's about if you express what is within you will save you. If you don't express what is within you will destroy you.
Wow, that's great, isn't it?
It is. And so I think that...
and has it saved you?
I think I am a remarkably centered person, but you'd have to ask other people that. I think it's certainly... I don't have much money. I now teach creative writing to help save other people, perhaps. But I have a wonderful life. I have a very satisfying relationship, and I work quite hard, but it's wonderful. How many other people get to do what they really want to do, or to even know what they really want to do? And I think that if you can find that, then everything makes sense, basically.
Now, Diane, we haven't got much time left, but a couple of questions I want to ask is, I do want to hear another poem because I love that first poem. And just a very quick background, you were born in what part of New Zealand?
Auckland.
Auckland, and which school did you go to?
I spent my first 10 years living in a state house in Grey Lynn.
Grey Lynn, oh, you're a Grey Lynner.
We should have stayed there.
You'd be very trendy now.
Yes, exactly. Then we moved to West Auckland, Sunnyvale, where my father built a house, and my mother's still living in the same house, so I went to Kelston Girls. So I'm a Westie, really. And I've got two brothers who still live out west. But then I got married and moved to the shore, and then, as you know, I sort of, travelled and everything else, but mostly I lived in Auckland until 13 years ago, and studied as an adult student, got a degree, started writing, published.
Even the titles of your book are great. So let's start with the first title. There was...
Before the Divorce, We Go to Disneyland.
Oh, that's a wonderful title. What's next?
Then a novel I wrote, and that's sort of... it's the equivalent now of a woman going to the internet dating. But it was 0900 in those times, set in the 90s, and that's If the Tongue Fits. If the Tongue Fits. That's quite a naughty book.
Naughty book. Next one.
And then the next one was 8 Stages of Grace, which is actually the...
Great title,
the
8 Stages of Grace.
Yes, the main character was married to a sort of TV interviewer, actually. Then I wrote a travel memoir about going off overseas in 1975 on a ship to Italy, and that's called Liars and Lovers.
Liars and Lovers.
Yes, for
they
obvious
do go
reasons.
Together, don't they?
Yes, they do. And then I wrote this book about the poetry book called Learning to Lie Together. That's primarily about moving to Dunedin. So it's Learning to Lie Together, which has 2 connotations, obviously. And then one last one, which is a travel memoir of going to Berlin with my husband, called Here Comes Another Vital Moment.
What a great title. Here Comes Another Vital Moment.
I stole it, though. I stole it off a piece of graffiti in Berlin.
Did you?
Which was written... We got up one morning in this apartment where we were, and there it was, written on a board tied to the building across the road in English with a dripping white paint, which became the cover of my book. So I thought that was great.
Here Comes Another Vital Moment.
Yes.
What a title. Well, what about one poem before you go?
Okay.
Which one would you like to pick?
So this is a continuous narrative, which is a whole sort of 60 pages about primarily about my parents, but about everyone. But this is just a little one that's about going camping, because I thought a lot of us went camping when we were kids. Yeah. And it doesn't have a title because it's part of this whole collection. But this is just how it goes. Always seemed to be raining the day we set off every year. Mum and Dad, us 3 kids and the camping gear crammed into the V-dub, heads nearly touching the roof, bottoms cushioned by sleeping bags. We always seemed to get caught behind sheep trucks, the sheep more pinned in than we were, the fetid smell not helping my car sickness, which I tried to hold in. As it was, Dad would be heating up. He'd had enough of camping during the war, and why anyone needed more than a toothbrush and maybe a book was beyond him. My mother silent the whole way, even when he threatened to turn round, and we cried. On the gravel road in the corners, I closed my eyes and held my breath. Nearly there, and we'd be let out to explore. Maybe the girl I liked last year would be there. Maybe the rain would stop and the tent wouldn't leak. Maybe I'd float on the surface of the sea and watch the sky without drowning. Maybe Mum and Dad would lie on the sand, holding hands like they used to before we came along.
Isn't that great? Gosh, that's marvellous. Oh, look, that takes all us baby boomers back to those.
They were great times.
You've taken that idea, which we've all experienced, and you've put it into a form that we can... Gosh, that's great.
Well, that just...
with our bums sitting on the camping, sleeping bags, and our heads touching the roof, and then Dad threatening to turn around. It's all there, isn't it? God, that's great.
All the family dynamics.
We could go for about another 5 hours reading these poems, Diane, but we can't, so we're going to have to buy the books, the whole 6 of them.
Well, that would
and
be
enjoy
difficult.
the works. Enjoy the works of Diane, but you can go to the website, can't you?
Go to the website and plead with the publishers to reprint them.
Diane Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.